At 7:53 Central Time tonight, the state of Alabama started carrying out the execution of Kenneth Eugene Smith by nitrogen hypoxia at the William C. Holman Correctional Facility in Atmore. Smith was executed for the 1988 capital murder of Elizabeth Dorleen Sennett in Colbert County. Please confer with the media witnesses for Smith's last words. Smith was pronounced deceased by physicians at 8:25 p.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, Kim, appeared that Smith was holding his breath as long as he could, and then there's also information out there. He struggled against his restraints a little bit, but there's some involuntary movement and some agonal breathing, so that was all expected and is in the side effects that we've seen or researched on nitrogen hypoxia. So nothing was out of the ordinary what we were expecting.
You think it was involved?
Nothing happened here today is going to bring Mom back. Nothing. It's kind of a bittersweet day. We're not going to be jumping around, hooping and hollering, hooray and all that. That's not us. But we're glad this day is over. You know, the Bible says that evil deeds has consequences. And Kenneth Smith made some bad decisions 35 years ago. And his debt was paid tonight. I guess I'll end by saying that Elizabeth Dorleen Thorne Sennett got her justice tonight. Thank you.
Kenneth Smith made a lengthy final statement. It began with, Tonight, Alabama caused humanity to take a step backward. He continued saying, I'm leaving with love, peace, and light. Thank you for supporting me. Love all of you. There were other parts of his final statement that media was not able to dictate because it was lengthy. Kenneth Smith also made a I love you sign in sign language with one of his hands that was facing the room where his family was witnessing along with media witnesses. He appeared conscious for several minutes into the execution. For about 2 minutes following that, Kenneth Smith shook and writhed for about 2 minutes on a gurney. That was followed by several minutes of deep breaths on the gurney. Following that, his breath slowed until it was no longer perceptible for media witnesses. The governor's office pronounced the time of death at 8:25. And again, the curtains closed to that room at 8:15 p.m.
What we saw was minutes of someone struggling for their life. We saw minutes of someone heaving back and forth. We saw spit. We saw all sorts of stuff from his mouth develop on the mask. We saw this mask tied to the gurney and him ripping his head forward over and over and over again. And we also saw correction officials in the room who were visibly surprised at how bad this thing went.
We know that we can be safe from people who've done terrible crimes and hold them accountable without executions, because that's what we do in the vast majority of cases. We throw away the key. It's not life without parole, it's death in prison. And that's what the vast majority of murderers get.
Kenny, at the very end, when I came in and saw him, I think it's important, I'm sure that this has been described already, but the mask itself looked like a firefighter's mask. It had straps coming from it to go to the back of the gurney. So there's two straps here. It was about as tight as it could possibly be. And even when he was hooked up to that whole contraption, he still was telling me, we got this, Jeff. We got this. I mean, this is somebody who's about to be executed, and he saw that I was really struggling, and he kept saying, we got this.
Anyone that would allow him to be their friend. He wasn't a bad man. He was a changed man.